Hi folks, this is Jay. I hope you're okay today. We're looking at this book, Why God Won't Go Away by Alistair McGrath, SPCK. Please get the book, read the book. It's a really good, interesting book, especially if you're an evangelist or a preacher or a YouTube blogger critiquing atheism. This will give you a lot of help. And if you're an atheist wanting to know about Christianity, this will really help you to see where the new atheism's going wrong. Alistair McGrath goes on about the online communities of atheism. New atheist anxieties. Yet I've noticed recently that all is not well within these virtual communities. They had an upbeat feel in the heydays of 2006 and 7, where the new atheism seemed to be like a bright new sun dawning on the world. But now is a crisis of faith beginning to emerge. A small example may illustrate one of the crystallizing points of concern. The large sale figures of the published writings of the Four Horsemen were seen by many secularist commentators as a surefire indication that atheism was displacing religion in the public domain. These figures marked a cultural watershed, or did they? Certainly the God's Delusion became a bestseller, shifting nearly 1 million copies in North America. But Rick Warren's Christian devotional, The Purpose-Driven Life, is reliably reported as having sold nearly 30 million copies in the book's same sales area since its publication in 2002. If its flagship book could muster only around 3% of the sales of a religious bestseller such as Warren's, which attracted considerably less media attention, what does that say about the numerical strength and the cultural influence of new atheism? In fact, a survey of religious beliefs in the USA, undertaken by Baylor University in late 2007, after the peak in interest in the new atheism following the publication of its core manifestos, revealed that only 4% of Americans explicitly find themselves as atheists. The comparative sales of Dawkins and Warren thus fairly accurately reflect the relative size of the religious and atheist communities in the USA. Others doubt about the orthodoxy of new atheism regularly emerge on some atheist websites. Sam Harris' ruthless portrayal of religion as intrinsically and monolithically evil is seen especially troubling. Is it really that straightforward? Can you persuade ordinary people to believe such stuff? Anxiety about this point bubbles up on several websites open to more critical reflection, those on which intrepid souls dare to challenge the prevailing tub-thumping. Dark talk about the exaggeration of evidence is becoming increasingly common. But the most intense anger on these forums is directed against atheists who are seen to be accommodating towards people of faith, or who otherwise seem to betray the high ideals and core dogma of the new atheism. These are the traitors, the collaborators, the quislings who contaminate the movement, infecting it with moderation that hinders its elimination of religion. To illustrate this point, let us consider the reaction on new theist blogs to a representative of the older, more reflective form of atheism. The mild-mannered British Julian Baggini, author of the eminently readable Very Short Introduction to Atheism. I had the pleasure of debating issues of faith with him some years ago. Early in the year, Baggini published an article in the Norwegian humanist magazine Free Thought. The magazine helpfully reproduced the original English version on its website with the headline, not chosen by Baggini himself, that was like a red flag to a bull. The new atheist movement is destructive. The response within the new atheist online community was immediate and aggressive, and apparently based more on the title than the substance of the article. Baggini reflected ruefully on the reaction to his piece. I have been burned as a heretic by many of the commentators at richarddawkins.net, who call me variously a flea, a fool, a pompous airbag. They called him quite a few other things as well, but they can't be published here. So what did Baggini actually say? What outrageous statements elicited such a furious reaction? A seasoned observer of a certain New Atheist website, I've learned their ground rules. The degree of ridicule heaped upon a given viewpoint is a measure of the degree of threat it poses to the core beliefs of the online community. Within a dreary inevitability, the movement's bloggers assume that anyone who dares to criticize the New Atheism automatically exposes themselves as irrational, anti-scientific, and secret supporter of religion. In a word, a traitor. Yet Baggini merely made 2 points that most outside observers have the New Atheism regard as representing significant and valid criticisms of the movement. First, he pointed out the New Atheism is characterized more by its attacks on religion than by its own positive beliefs, as for example in Dawkins' unqualified assertion that there is a logical path from religious faith to evil deeds. For Baggini, this simply reinforces the myth that an atheist without a bishop is is like a fish without water. In fact, he argues it is worse than that. It just reinforces the widespread suspicion that many atheists need an enemy to give them their identity. A trawl of leading atheist websites amply confirms Baggini's fears. Many new atheist foot soldiers see themselves as engaged in a crusade to rid the world of religion. This holy war is the reason for living, the centre of their existence. Second, Baggini complained that the New Atheism arrogantly claims to have a monopoly on reason. With its talk of spells and delusions, it gives the impression that only through stupidity or crass disregard for reason could anyone be any other than an atheist. It's essential to recognize the limits of reason, Baggini argued, and to accept that reason and evidence play a significant role in religious belief. Dawkins' crude definition of faith as a cop-out or an excuse to evade the need to think and elevate evidence was simply arrogant and attribute to reason a power it does not have. Shouldn't the New Atheists have a little more sceptical about reason, Baggini wondered. Dawkins and others simply reinforced the unhelpful stereotypes that atheists are men who look only to science for answers, are dismissive of religion, and overconfident in their own rightness. The New Atheism characterized by dogmatism that permits neither doubt nor respect for disagreement. Now this may be heresy to some in the New Atheism, but it is the mainstream response from many of those who are philosophically and scientifically informed, something to which we'll return later. Baggini is simply telling things the way they are. The reaction he received is hardly commensurate with the community that claims to cherish reason and evidence, even when they support its own beliefs. So, Julian Baggini, an atheist freethinker of the old school, says some proper academic things about New Atheism, and the New Atheism online communities cast him out and attack him and call him all sorts of names under the sun. That's the kind of thing that goes on today in the New Atheism. Very, very controlling and very anti-irrational. In a way, it's really New Atheist witch hunts on atheists. If you're an atheist and you speak out against New Atheism, you'll get a witch hunt on you. Alright? So thanks for listening, and God bless you.